Welcome to The Next Word. I'm your host, Christine Warnke, and I have the honor of welcoming a woman who embodies the spirit, strength, and sophistication of our nation's capital. Allison Laforce earned the title of Miss District of Columbia USA 2025 this past September. Having started in pageantry in her teenage years, she had the honor of holding the title of Miss Maryland's Outstanding Teen 2016. Shortly after being crowned Miss DC USA, she competed in Miss USA 2025 and then represented the United States in the Miss Universe pageant. As Miss District of Columbia, she is a leader whose journey is rooted in service, community, and an unwavering commitment to making a difference. Her personal platform, Crowns for a Cure, aims to encourage others to join in the fight to help end cancer. Beyond the crown, though, she's an advocate, a role model, and a voice for positive change, working to uplift the people of Washington, D.C. through her social impact initiative and her dedication to empowering others. Whether she's mentoring young women, partnering with local organizations, or representing the district on the national stage, she brings passion, purpose, and a deep love for the community she serves. Allison, welcome, and thank you so much. What a story. And you started so young.
Yeah.
You started competing when you were in your teens.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Yeah.
In here in Maryland.
Yes, yeah. So I've been a lifelong Montgomery County resident. I went to school at the University of Miami and got my undergraduate degree there. But since then, I've come back, made my home in Maryland again. I work in the Capitol, hence my title, Miss District of Columbia. So I got started in pageants when I was just 15 years old. And it is all thanks to my mother, my momager, as I call her. So she actually saw an ad in the local newspaper for a Miss America local competition. So with the Miss America organization, you have to start at the local level, and then you earn the opportunity to compete at the state level and potentially even the national level. So I earned the title of Miss Potomac's Teen 2015 and went on to win Miss Maryland's Outstanding Teen 2016, and I went on to compete for Miss America's Outstanding Teen that same year. So that's how I kind of got into it. I took a long break from pageantry when I went away to school, got my degree, was a student athlete at the University of Miami. And then I decided just a couple years ago, hey, let me give this one more shot at the Miss level, because you can compete in pageantry at the teenage level, and then you can compete at the Miss level as well. So once I was of age and I decided, this is something I really want to give a go, I was able to compete in the Miss USA organization. So I competed for Miss Maryland USA twice, this year and the year before, and then I competed for Miss DC this year and ended up winning. So it's been such a blast so far. It's such an honor to represent our capital, our nation's capital, and all the amazing people and the culture in it.
Oh my God, yes. And just the process too of the competition. What is that like, getting ready for a competition?
Yeah, there's a lot of glamour to it, and there's a lot of not so glamorous moments.
Right. So talk about, the glamorous, we can, talk about the glamorous.
Yes, yeah. So in the Miss USA competition, you have 3 phases of competition. So you have your swimsuit competition, you have your evening gown competition, and you have your private interview with the judges as well. There's also the fourth component of an onstage question that you answer during the finals of your competition. Right. So a lot of the prep has to do with glamorous, fun things, picking out your dress, practicing your hair and makeup, practicing your walk as well. We have different walks, as we call them, for swimsuit versus evening gown, and then there's a lot of hard work that goes into it as well. The interview prep takes months, if not years, for a lot of women. It's one of those things where you're building life skills at the same time. Right. So it's not just preparing for a pageant, it's preparing for your future. And that's why I'm very thankful my mom got me into it at such a young age, because you learn a lot of great life skills that you wouldn't otherwise in school or a lot of your extracurriculars. I was able to practice my interview skills. I was able to practice networking, meeting new people, making connections, serving our communities. So there's a lot of pros in competing that a lot of girls wouldn't necessarily know just at face value.
Well, absolutely, and you know, so and networking with people, but and interacting, which you were going to be doing on stage on a national platform.
Yeah.
So preparing for that is quite amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It can be pretty nerve-wracking just knowing that you're competing at such a high level. You're competing at Miss USA. I was able to compete for the title of Miss USA 2025 this past October with the opportunity to represent the USA at Miss Universe.
Which was fabulous.
Yeah, so the winner of Miss USA ended up being Nebraska. So Audrey, she is an amazing, talented individual, and she went on just 4 days after being crowned Miss USA. She went to compete for Miss Universe, which was incredible. It was held in Thailand this year. So if you can imagine, you know, you're at the top of your game, you just competed at a national level for the title of Miss USA. You win, you're riding the high, you get maybe a couple hours of sleep, and then you got to hop on a plane the next day to Thailand. So she did it with such grace, such ease. I've got a lot of respect for her.
And you both were there together.
Yes, yeah. So it was all 50 states plus me representing the district. So we all competed against each other. There was a top 30 after swimsuit, and then we went on to top 15, top 10, and top 5 ultimately. So it was such a fantastic opportunity. I got to meet so many other women. I like to say I have a friend in every state now. So it's really great getting to meet these girls, and I've been able to make a lot of appearances with Miss Virginia and Miss Maryland actually. So we like to joke that we're, you know, the full DMV team when we're making appearances together, which is awesome.
What was, in preparing, what was the most surprising issue that you encountered in a competition? What was that like?
Yeah, I think the thing I struggled with the most in my preparation from being crowned Miss DC USA to competing at Miss USA was I had about 4 weeks to get everything together. So it was a very tight turnaround, and I'm very thankful to all the sponsors, all the individuals that helped me get there, because it really takes a village. It takes a community to help get you to such a national high-performing level of competing. I think the timeline was very tight, but we made it work. Having to get my national or my state costume together for nationals was a bit tricky. So I worked with an amazing designer, Kirsten Regaldo, based out of Miami, Florida, and she was able to create this beautiful costume for me that was representative of the district's state flower, which is not the cherry blossom, which a lot of people would think. It's called the American Beauty Rose, which is so interesting because it's a pink rose, which happens to be my favorite flower in the world. So the costume she created, it was just stunning. It had this beautiful cape that was filled with pink roses on the back, had these beautiful high heels, and I just felt like a princess in it. So even though it was a bit tricky getting it together in 4 weeks, she did it, and I'm just so thankful that the team was able to help me in my journey to Miss USA.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what, in your opinion, sets your other colleagues apart on the stage? Once you're on the stage, I mean, what is it that sets the winner apart from the other?
Yeah, we would have to say in the pageant world, it's that it factor. So it's a accumulation of a lot of different things that one woman has that ultimately leads to the crown. And we always say that different judges, different day, different outcome. So it's very difficult to predict these things. You just try as a competitor to have the best day and the best time on stage that you can and really enjoy the moment, because we know that whatever is going to happen is going to happen. So we just have to give it our all and represent who we are in our state to the best of our ability. So that's something I really tried to do at Miss USA. I really leaned into my own personal, unique style. I had a lot of fun outfits. You know, I got to show a lot of my personality in my private interview. So I'm very proud of how I competed, just staying true to myself and what I represent.
And you're authentic.
Yes.
And I think authenticity means a lot.
It does.
In these pageants, correct?
Yeah, there's an old, kind of shroud over the pageant world that says you have to be this pageant patty who is fitting one mold, who looks a certain way, who speaks a certain way, who represents certain things. But we have definitely grown beyond that. You know, it's 2026. We have women from all backgrounds, all walks of life. I competed against several mothers at Miss USA. A lot of women were married. We had some CEOs of their own companies, some lawyers, some student athletes like myself. So there's a wide variety of women who can compete and be successful in pageantry nowadays. So it's incredible how much the doors have opened, and especially that's what I'm grateful for the Miss USA organization for spearheading the initiative on, is really opening it up to every woman in our nation.
And that brings me to the fact that you had a very supportive family. But what about the community? The community is supportive, correct?
Yes, especially in the district. I'm very thankful for that.
Are you in sponsorships, in in mentorships, in anything?
I mean, I'm just very thankful for the community we have here, not just in the district, but the DMV.
Right.
So I've made a lot of lifelong friends, a lot of lifelong people that I can lean on for support. I'm very thankful for all my sponsors for Miss DC USA. We have signature dresses located in DC. They're fantastic for any evening wear, any formal wear that you need. I wear them for all of my galas or events. Yeah, so they're very generous in terms of
That's interesting.
loaning me at these beautiful designer gowns. So I'm very thankful to them. Also, Axel Beauty, he is one of the top makeup artists in our area. He owns his own studio as well, where he trains additional makeup artists. So he was able to do my hair and makeup as well as my teens for the whole week of Miss USA, and I've never felt prettier. I wish I could keep him in my pocket.
Keep them in your
oh yes,
in your room. Oh,
yeah.
And sponsors, are you required to go out and reach out to sponsors, or is that something that
it's something we definitely encourage. Part of your job as a state title holder in the Miss USA organization is just making sure you're maintaining and fostering those relationships with a lot of your state sponsors, since they're very generous with their time, with their products. They give us a lot, and so we help in terms of marketing and increasing visibility for their products and their services. So we really try to make sure if there are any new sponsors that we can bring in, that we do so, and then again, just fostering those current relationships we have with sponsors.
I would think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Right? And again, your mother plays a huge role.
Oh yeah.
Who I met.
Yeah.
And you have to have a strong mother behind you.
Oh yes. She is, like I said, she is my fierce momager. I love her so much.
Love it.
She has been such an inspiration in my life, and just with all her children, one thing I've really respected about her is she encourages us to follow our dreams, even as ridiculous or as outlandish as they may be. She really has taught us growing up that we can achieve anything in life, and that dreams don't work unless you do. So she's instilled a hard work ethic in us, which I think is definitely fostered success in my life and my siblings as well, since we are just able to have that internal confidence in ourselves, even when the world sometimes may present obstacles or say, no, you shouldn't do this, or this is going to take too much time. You know, we try to be as positive and as optimistic as we can, and I attribute a lot of that to my wonderful mother.
I know, yeah, you can tell. And besides your role in appearing on all these incredible places and representing the District of Columbia so beautifully, you also have another role, and you've created Crowns for Cure.
Yeah.
And when we come back, I'm going to talk about that. You're watching The Next Word, and we're going to take a short break and talk about Allison's passion, Crowns for Cure, when we return.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. If you could see you through my eyes instead of your ego, I believe you'd be surprised to see that you've been blind. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Yeah, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Welcome back to The Next Word. I'm your host, Christine Warnke, and today we have a special guest, Allison Laforce, Miss USA DC 2025. Allison Laforce was crowned Miss DC USA 2025 last September, and besides being a role model for advocacy and community service for young women and men, she brings a deeply personal motivation to her advocacy for a cancer cure. As a legislative ambassador for the American Cancer Society, she was driven by the loss of her brother to cancer in 2023. And Allison, thank you again for being here and for sharing these stories, because I know you had a huge loss with your brother, who was in his 20s.
Yeah,
correct? He
was very young. We lost him in 2023 to a very rare form of sarcoma. Since the 80s, there's only been a little more than 200 cases of this specific type of cancer recorded. So it's one of those things that I try to use the advocacy that I've experienced, or the challenges and the obstacles that I faced in my life, and I know other people have as well, and turn them into action. You know, so many times when we lose a family member, we lose someone close to us, it can feel hopeless. And I really want to turn that hopelessness into action. So after we lost him, I decided to become a legislative ambassador for the American Cancer Society. So I get to do a lot of lobbying on Capitol Hill and at Annapolis, our state's capital in Maryland, and we push policies that will help one day end cancer. So we try to increase access to early screening for breast cancer. We try to avoid policies that allow smoking indoors, you know, to help with lung cancer rates. So there's a lot of policies that we push to representatives and to senators to try to just help the future chances of helping to end cancer and to lower the current rates that we have of cancer. And a lot of it is to help my mother as well, since she is currently living with metastatic breast cancer. She was diagnosed in 2017, and I'm so thankful to the doctors and the team that she has right now for being able to give her the treatments that she has that has allowed her to live this long. So there's still definitely a reason why I'm fighting today, and I'll be fighting for the rest of my life. And it's one of those things that hits very close to home to me, but I think it makes me more passionate about it. And I want to, like I said, just continue this fight and encourage others to join in it as well. There's a lot of opportunities, especially for young people, to get involved. You can join these societies, the American Cancer Society, St. Jude, Susan G. Komen. They have so many different events. They have runs, they have fundraisers, 5Ks, where you can join, you can lead a team, you can be part of a team and fundraise for research, for cancer cures and treatment. So there's a lot of opportunity in the volunteer world, and especially when it comes to cancer patients and advocacy.
Absolutely. And you used your title and your crown to start Crowns for Cure. Yeah. Do you bring in some of your other colleagues from across the country that are, you know, that competed? And
yeah, definitely. One great thing about the pageant community is we're always willing to help each other, especially when it comes to advocacy. So it's great. I've been able to call on a lot of my pageant sisters and queens to be able to support my initiatives, to join me at different events, join me at different advocacy events as well. So it's been really great having that support network. And I'm very thankful that the people I work with at the American Cancer Society, Susan G. Komen, they're very open to me using my platform, because we're given this crown and it's not just something pretty and sparkly that we wear. I really do believe that it helps give us a voice, and we should use that voice for good. Absolutely. We should use it to launch a platform that we have that we can really promote for the rest of our lives.
Yes, and you do it very well. Yeah, but you've been competing, speaking of all your life, but you've been competing almost all your life, you know. But how do you really handle the pressure of competition? Because it's like competing in the Olympics.
It definitely is. And one of my favorite statistics is you're more likely to have a son play in the Super Bowl in the NFL than have a daughter compete at Miss USA. So it's definitely one of those high stake opportunities that can easily turn to crumbling under the pressure. But I've always thrived in competitive environments. I've been a lifelong competitive dancer. I did horseback riding, I did soccer. So I've done a lot of things where there's definitely a competitive competitive element to it. And I just like to say that I'm competing against myself. I'm always just trying to do better than I did the day before. So just try not to compare yourself to other women, you know, really embracing the fact that we're all different, we're all unique, we have different strengths, different talents, and just celebrating the individuality aspect of it. So I just try to beat myself every time I get on stage. I just try to do the best that I can do and just improve with time.
So in terms of, you know, the confidence, and obviously you have a lot of confidence, you know, what does that mean in terms of the context of pageantry? It's truly confidence.
It really is,
in yourself and...
Yeah, it's confidence in knowing that you can do this. It's confidence in knowing that you can be the best Allison, in my case, that I can be. It's one of those things where it really does shine externally if you believe in yourself internally. And I know that's easier said than done, and it's one of those things that takes years to build. Confidence is not some easy recipe that can be built overnight. It's keeping promises to yourself every single day, knowing that you're going to see things through, that you have goals, and you're going to work towards them. So confidence, it's not just how you look, it's not just how you act, how you talk, how you think, it's how you view the world and how you're able to navigate it. So I just try to live my life with as much confidence and hopefully humility as I can on the day-to-day.
It definitely shows big time. But when you're talking, listen, you mentioned talking to classrooms, you have to be inspiring some of these, you know, young women.
Yeah. I hope so.
What kind of feedback do you get? Yes, I'm sure. I mean, do you get feedback? Do you get...
Yeah, I get pretty good feedback. And we were just kind of chatting earlier about how I've done quite a few career days at local elementary schools. So I've been to Little Bennett Elementary and Clear Spring Elementary on career days to actually talk about my current career as a full-time model. So it's one of those things you wouldn't initially think of when you're sending your child off to career day. You know, normally it's the standard policeman, fireman, teacher, nurse, and I was right there alongside them, you know, with my career as a model. So it was really cool just to feel like hopefully I'm inspiring some of the young girls and boys in that class and telling them that a career in the creative industries, whether it's modeling, photography, doing hair and makeup, acting, there is still opportunities and needs for that. And I always wanted, when I was a young girl, to see someone glamorous and inspiring and very feminine come and be able to tell me that that's okay, that I don't have to shy away from being those things just because I want to be taken seriously in my life. I've been able to really lean into my femininity, and I love wearing pink. Half of my closet is pink. So just being able to make sure that other girls understand that it's okay to be like that, and it's good to celebrate that. It's something that should be celebrated. So definitely been a great time being able to do that at career days at local elementary schools. And it was so funny because even one of the teachers told my mom later on that week after I had been to the school, she was like, you know, our kids were practicing their catwalk after Allison came in and was telling them about her modeling. So, you know, start them young, I guess, but it's just cool being able to inspire.
A lot of people. And, you know, having you mentioned before about the interview process and that you really have to study that for months. And you can go on to other careers, whether you be motivational speakers or, you know, coaches or whatever you want to be, really, because having that skill set.
And it definitely it is a skill. It's something that takes practice. And like I said before, just having the opportunity and the goal to practice for something like that. And we have such short interviews for Miss USA. I've had anywhere from 3 minutes to 5 minutes to 8 minutes at the national level. But we have such a short amount of time to answer and to convey who we are and to let the judges know what our platform is, what our goals for the organization are, and what type of title holder we want to be. So just being able to condense your answers, being able to practice that and communicate effectively in such a short amount of time, that was also one of the challenges of interview prep. But again, I see it as a fun challenge.
And to connect with the judges, correct?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I'm sure you're very good at that.
It's, yeah, again, different judges, different day. You never know what you're going to get. I've had a room full of very serious judges, you know, that take their job seriously, and they're not going to give you a whole lot of positive encouragement and feedback. But especially, oh my gosh, at the Miss USA level, when I was interviewing, it was the best interview of my life because they were just having such a great time. I was having such a great time. You know, I walked in the doors, I see this panel of judges, and the first thing they asked me was, hey, can you give us a twirl, since they liked my interview outfit. And that was just the best way to start my interview. So you never know what you're going to get in terms of judges, but you got to make it the best interview that you can.
Well, in terms of judges, how are they picked?
Yeah, so it's typically a good variety of individuals from a lot of different backgrounds. So they try to get people who are maybe in a profession that has to do with politics, someone who's very comfortable with speaking, so they have a background in that. They might even be in the creative industries. They might be a dancer, a singer. They might even be a former title holder. So we had Mia Sanchez, who was Miss USA, a former Miss USA. She was one of our judges, which was really cool. So they try to give you a good variety of individuals that are going to be interviewing.
And that's interesting, you know, because it's, you know, it's a skill as well to be able to pick out the best.
Yeah, yes. It's hard work, and I do not envy it because I've judged several smaller events, and I know it is incredibly difficult to give the crown to just one girl. You know, often more than not, you want to give the crown to everyone there because they've all definitely deserved and earned that spot. But there can only be one winner, sadly, even though most girls do deserve it.
Now, when you competed in 2025, in September of 2025, how many competed with you?
Yeah, I believe we had 11 Miss compete, and there was just 3 teens that year. So we have a new director, Amani. She is absolutely fantastic. So she only had about 2 months to get our pageant together for Miss DC, and then we had, like I said, a pretty tight turnaround to get to Miss USA. But this year we're having our competition in June, and I know we already have 15 girls signed up. Yeah, our registration process is still open. So if anyone is interested in competing, you can visit our Instagram, Miss DC USA, and there'll be a link in our bio where they can sign up to compete this year.
And the and generally the ages are 20. Is there an age?
Yeah,
restriction?
So there is just a minimum right now. So we do ask that any individual competing in the Miss category be at least 18 years of age, and then there's no cap. So you can be any age after 18 to compete for Miss USA.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. And they do the selection. Is that at the University of the District of Columbia? It used to be.
Yeah, it's not anymore. I believe we're still looking at venues for this year, but it is going to be in the DC area. So I'm sure, and I'm hopeful that locals can stop by and watch some of the pageant in DC.
Well, I know you have many more to come, and if people want to follow you, what is your
so my personal Instagram is just at Allison Laforce, my first and last name, and then my pageant Instagram, my title holder Instagram, is Miss DC USA.
What an amazing title. No, this has been wonderful conversation.
Oh, thank you.
Very inspirational, and thank you what you're doing for the community, for the District of Columbia, but for the DMV. And being a Maryland girl, I know people are really proud of that.
Yeah, I will always love the DMV. You know, this is one of my favorite places on earth, so I'm very proud to be representing the district this year. And thank you so much for having me today.
No, really, thank you. You've been watching The Next Word, and please email your comments and suggestions to info@mmctv.org. We'll see you back here next time.